The purpose of my ethnographic interview was to identify practices for effectively training students to work cooperatively. I discovered during my action research pertaining to teachers training peer tutors of disabled students that teachers scored lowest in their self-efficacy to develop cooperative learning in the classroom. Cooperative learning is the most pervasive strategy in peer tutoring. The interview consisted of questions built on research-based evidence in student-centered learning, culturally relevant teaching, and the Universal Design for Learning framework. Strategies investigated were facilitating student self-awareness, developing student awareness and acceptance of others, strategies to elevate students' ability to work, fostering student appreciation and tolerance, modeling empathy, techniques for establishing cooperative learning, and dialogue to resolve conflict. I interviewed a teacher at my educational institution who is an expert in facilitating cooperative learning with students. Questions pertained to the whole group instructional strategies aforementioned. The interviewee's responses were examined against the foundational aspects and strategies of United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, with emphasis on learning to know, learning to do, learning to live together, and learning to become. These are the summary practices obtained from the interview. Train students through modeling, practice, and feedback. Set high expectations with clear instructions. Use reflective writing to help students develop self-awareness and identity. Create opportunities for students to respond to each other's writing to develop thoughts and understanding toward each other. Facilitate students asking fellow students questions. Rotate students to work with various partners. Emphasize tolerance and the need to withhold personal judgments. Establish routines such as daily questions for neighbors. Talk individually with students every day to develop rapport and a safe environment. Invite real-life experiences into conversations. Recognize that poor behavior is evidence that a student is hurting and needs empathetic intervention. Results from the interview provided experience-based practices for whole group instruction on cooperative learning that correlate with evidence-based research. Increased self-efficacy in special education teachers to establish cooperative learning in their classrooms can improve peer tutors to function in pairs with disabled students.
Created using Powtoon.